Hello YouTube, just wanted to offer a quick review of the Tisell Pilot watch. This is the Type B dial. I really want to offer a review of this thing because of just how fantastic that I have found this watch to be. I was looking for a Pilot watch a while back, really just hoping to get something that kind of represents the history of the Pilot watch. Of course, as you know, if you are into watches, that the very first wrist watches are really pocket watches strapped to someone's wrist, so they were fairly large. The idea was that you couldn't reach into your pocket to pull out your pocket watch, so you just strapped it to your wrist, and it was very functional use. And then over time, it evolved into what we know as the men's wristwatch, to be able to just glance down at your wrist while flying and see the time. And so there's a rich history to the Pilot watch, and I really wanted something that represented it. But I'm on a limited budget. I couldn't spend $1,000 like some of the quality Pilot watches cost, and so began to look. I looked at Parnas. I looked at some of the Hamilton and some of the others. It just kept coming back to this simple design, the Tisell. I thought it had just a great look about it. And let's see, let me clean it off here a little bit. And okay, there we go. And just really like the look and the design of Tisell, and so I gave it a chance. And I really honestly thought I would get a kind of a low grade, low quality watch. And what I got here was really a gem. First of all, some specs on this watch. It's a 43 millimeter, and in fact, that's sort of why I picked it. I absolutely love the size of this watch, and I'll show you wrist shot later. But love the 43 millimeter dimension. It gives a nice wrist presence, but not too much. I originally bought a 47 millimeter Parnas, but boy, that thing was huge, and so I immediately flipped that and realized I needed something around 43 millimeters, which is what this is. And so it's 43 millimeters from across the crown, or across the dial, the case I should say, and about 47, 48 millimeters if you include that crown. And then lug to lug, it's about 50 millimeters with about a 13, 14 millimeter thickness. And so it has nice curves on the lugs, just hugs my wrist nicely, and I think gives it kind of a great wrist presence. And of course, as the case is brushed finish, and probably not the finest brush case in the world, but it certainly works. You can see I've got some scratches on it already. I love brush cases because they can tolerate my scratches that I give it, and so this really has held up well, and so good finish on it. As far as let me say a word about the strap. This is an aftermarket strap. That wasn't the strap it came with. It was this here. Was the original strap that it came with. They didn't have the rivet strap when it first came out, or when I first bought it, so it came with this instead. It's nice, maybe 4 millimeter thick, high quality leather, I think, but it didn't excite me. It was very functional. Just gave the watch a casual look. And so when I purchased this aftermarket strap for about 20 bucks off eBay, man, I tell you, it just made this come alive. I mean, it just has such a nice look about it. Just very beautiful. I love how it looks. My wrist is about 7 1/4, and so it just perfect, I think. 22 millimeter lug width, so for straps. I love the size. Good wrist presence without being overly done, like the 47 millimeter, which was just monstrous. Let's see, the thing that really made me want to review this is this movement. This is the Seagull ST25. It's just a great movement, and the reason I love it is because I haven't done anything to this watch. I haven't tried to regulate it or do anything to it. And over the 6 months I've had it, I've checked the time with an app on my phone, and this thing is less than a second a day off. It is my most reliable movement of all my watches. It just never ceases to amaze me just how accurate this thing is. I don't know. My hunch is that because it's a Korean brand, Tisell's a Korean brand. It's like my Kia. I drive a Kia, and that thing, very low priced Kia, and I tell you, I've got 113,000 miles, and I haven't hardly done anything to it except change the tires and change the oil. The Koreans make good products, and I imagine Tisell probably takes these movements and they fine-tune them and regulate them, or whatever they do, or maybe I just got lucky. But what I have is less than a second a day, and that's been since I bought it about 6 months ago. This came with the sapphire crystal. Now, looking on their website now, it doesn't automatically come with that. You have to pay a $30 upgrade, and let me tell you, pay the $30 upgrade. You get just a slight, if I can show you here, just a slight raise in the crystal, but I tell you, I'm rough on crystals. Mineral crystals don't stand a chance with me, so I really love the sapphire. And this has a beautiful, not a scratch on it, and I just highly recommend the upgrade. The dial, as you see, is I chose the Type B over the Type A just because I like the dial, the hour dial within the minute dial, and in the way those hands touch. And you can see the blue heat-treated hands. My fear when I got this, because a lot of these Pilot watches come with the blue hands, is it would just be strikingly blue and just kind of jump out just blue, but it really doesn't. You can't, in most situations, you can't tell it's blue, and then boy, the light hits it just right, and you realize you got these blue hands that are it's just a nice feature. I love how that looks. The winding mechanism is very firm and very solid. I do not ever fear winding it. I love the fact that you can hack and wind this movement, and especially since it's quite a precise watch. I really love the fact that I can set it and have a lot of control over setting the watch. I'm not sure about the reserve on this, but I tell you, I went away for a couple of days and I came back and every watch in my box was stopped except this one. So happy with the power reserve on it. It says 5 ATM water resistance. I've not tested that out, nor do I really plan to. But I tell you, it's a good looking movement, and it really the watch, the rotor is super quiet. I have no problems with the rotor making any noise, but yet I do like to stick it to my ear and hear the slight movement of a live machine on my wrist. What else do you want to know about this? Let's see. The loom. I gotta tell you about the loom. The loom is fantastic on this watch. It lasts me all night long. It's very, it does fade, but if I go to bed at midnight, charge it up good, by 6 a.m. I can still glance at my watch and see the time. Let's see if I can try to charge this thing up and show you a loom shot here. Can't see it too well, but that blue loom just really holds through the night. And again, you can't really tell from the shot, but I love when I'm come from the outside and come to a dark room, and boy, you just see this thing glowing and all lit up. So I'm very pleased with the loom. It's one of my 3 or 4 watches that I'll actually wear to bed. So I'm blind, so I have to have a watch with good loom, and I wear it to sleep. So in the middle of the night, I can tell what time it is. This perfectly does the job. Again, I recommend this with a really good, I just love the dressiness of this with the strap. This strap just kills it for me. I love it. So definitely recommend upgrading the strap or waiting till they offer it with the rivet strap. But the dark oily leather just makes this pop. So one more time with the wrist shot, and what you see on there. Not too bad of thickness. Looks good from that angle. And so very pleased with the Tisell Type B Pilot. And one last thing let me say about it is This thing's a tank. I mean, I do not fear this thing. I mean, it's got some heft to it. I think it's just going to last and last and last with that movement. It doesn't vary much. You know, the most I've seen it one time -4 seconds a day, one day, and everything else has been 0.2, 0.3. I mean, it's just very accurate. So, you know, if you're going to buy, you know, for me, I wanted to buy a Pilot watch just to have in my collection. I don't wear this a whole lot because I'm not a huge fan of the style. I'm more of a fan of the history. But when I do, man, in fact, I wear it in dressier occasions because of the way, because of the glamour look of it. I just love it. Anyway, so thanks for watching, and be sure to comment down below if you have any questions. Thank you.